Look,
Sadness.
I mean, we're all sad. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're also very grateful.
We are.
Yes.
And right now we're
There's a lot to be
live
grateful for.
from the Charlotte, North Carolina branch of Fondren Library on the beautiful campus of SMU in the Big C. You're listening to the Mustang Mood podcast. Very sad Mustang Mood podcast, but a very grateful one.
And a very proud.
Very proud.
Mustang Mood podcast.
Yeah.
One thing Rhett said in his post-game remarks, he's like, in the good times and the bad times, we give praise and glory to Jesus Christ. And so, just like amen to that. It's like, it's been a really fun season.
It's been great.
Unbelievably fun.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun game.
It was
because
a magical game.
The start may have been rough, but man, what an exciting comeback. Yeah. And it just felt like Dabo threw up a prayer and, God answered it. And sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah. I think this is exactly why we were afraid of playing Clemson. Like, they just own the ACC championship game. Like, Dabo, there's some voodoo magic.
It's a home
And it's
game.
basically a home game.
It's a home game.
It's not basically, guys. They played a 3-minute hype video in the fourth quarter, and I will not be told that our we Don't Stop Believing counts.
I mean,
I don't
that is
think-
what we do.
That is what
I don't think any of the SMU fans had their flashlights on.
they did.
They did.
There was a few.
Not from our side.
There was
Right, you couldn't see your side. We could see your side. Yeah.
I want to say one thing. The number,
and that's it.
the number 0. The amount of times that Clemson was penalized tonight.
They were the perfect team.
It was absolutely
That is the key takeaway.
Yeah.
disgusting. We still could have won.
Well, they were
but-
penalized once, but we declined it.
We declined, which,
Yes.
I mean, it
was a
doesn't count.
5-yard
It doesn't
penalty.
count.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was inconsequential.
yeah.
And all their penalties were brutal.
But
Third down penalties,
Yeah.
basically.
We basically spotted them 14 points because of
that's
The ref.
that's the hard thing. We also, we spotted them 14 points because of turnovers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
when you point the finger for coming right back at you. So I think as much as I would love to blame the Zebras on the field tonight, I think the Mustangs were the ones that deserve
Yeah, I mean, you
most of
can't
the
start out that slow and have them score.
No, I mean, I was
touchdowns.
I was telling Jay, like, if we just played below average instead of absolutely dog water in the first quarter, we would have won the game by a possession and a half.
Yeah, it would have been like 10 points for us.
Yeah.
About the refs, though, they were so bad. There was a guy talking nonstop trash in front of us, a Clemson guy, and after that roughing the passer call, he just goes, ACC refs.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, you can, we did play bad in the first quarter, but like it's 14-7. We've stopped them, about to get the ball back, and then they call that ridiculous roughing the passer. Like, who knows? We could have tied it up.
Tutty for
Totally
Clemson.
different.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
And then they go score. Now it's 21-7.
Yeah.
And that ruined, not only was it 7 more points that they had, but it ruined the rest of the first half for us. That we just could not get things together. There was so much pressure. And I think Rhett.
He called a terrible first half.
Yeah,
I don't know-
it was bad.
Yeah. I don't know about terrible,
The
but I think it was
He was-
suboptimal.
He was calling the game like we're talking about this. He was calling the game like we're playing all Wake Forest players, like all 3 stars. You have to call a game like you're playing 5 stars.
yeah, the whole trick play stuff was
It's dumb.
not necessary.
Yeah, it wasn't
It
necessary.
was badly timed too. Like, we were on a roll.
Yeah.
We were moving the ball, and then he pulls out some like reverse that loses 6 yards and it kills the drive.
I'm glad he came out in the second half and fixed some of his play calling,
Yeah, it was much
energized the
better.
players, and we came out looking good.
Yeah, I told Walker, I leaned over to him after the first 2 drives of the second half. I was like, whatever Rhett Lashley said in that locker room, can someone please inject 2 doses of that right into my veins?
Yeah.
I am so hyped. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And man, and Walker and I were on the field for that last touchdown.
And we were right in the corner
Right
of the end
next to
zone
it.
where he caught it.
Go check out our
way.
Instagram
That's
story.
sick.
Yeah.
The video is pretty insane, but we were right next to it. It was magical.
Yeah.
And that's why we're
Wow.
so proud of the guys, though. I mean, they came back from
Yeah.
everything's going
Well,
against
and
them, including themselves.
they showed us, they showed the world, they showed the committee, what kind of football team we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have easily folded, and they didn't. I mean, nothing was going away. The fumble forward that Clemson recovered.
And they got the first down from that.
It was
fumble.
just nothing. We could do nothing right. We're dropping passes left and right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
felt
think
big
that's
for
another-
us in the first half.
That's another thing too. Is we dropped so many passes tonight.
Yeah.
You hit them right in the bad spot, right in the hands. You know, it's like, how are you going to catch football like that?
That was the most drop passes I've seen from our team this whole season in one game. Like we're the ones like just directly to the hands, the most drop passes.
That might have been more than how many passes we dropped the entire season combined. Like I don't remember seeing like
honestly,
more than one drop.
Ones that hit
in an
both
occasional
hands.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you may be right. I don't know how to keep track of that stat, but
I low-key
you're
feel
probably
like we
right.
drop a lot of passes.
Not like that.
Not like
Coldest
that.
game
Today
of
was
the
a
season,
lot.
though.
Today was a lot.
Very cold game.
Yeah.
I dropped a couple things today.
Also, can we say
Yeah.
we were up at the very top, some of us in the nosebleeds for the first half, and we moved down. But the people around us were jerks. Like they were horrible.
Do we
At the
want
beginning.
to
I had
talk
a
about
couple
Clemson
nice
fans?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
Who wants to talk about the neutral fan that was behind us?
Oh my god.
To all of our fans. that
Oh
listen
my god.
in
Okay.
Wisconsin,
I can have a word on
Let's
this.
jump.
All right. So, I think trash talking is generally stupid. Like, it's such like a small brain move to like just find a stranger that's wearing a jersey and like think you know how like, oh, this is totally gonna kill their spirit. It never does. Anyways, so I usually just tune people out, and so I hear all this chatter like coming from 2 rows behind us. And most of the, like, probably the first quarter, I think it was like well into the second quarter, I finally turned around because I was like, man, who is this person? Full red, Wisconsin, big W on the front. Never would have guessed. You could have given me, how many FBS teams are there? Like 130?
134.
You could have given me 133 guesses, and I would not have guessed that a Wisconsin fan was trash talking us. It was ridiculous.
It was really funny.
We also got consistently trash talked for being Methodists, which of course none of us are.
No.
The part that makes zero sense to me is when people start chanting "Daddy's money." It's like, okay,
What, are you jealous?
like I don't understand. Is that supposed to make me feel bad? That any way.
My dad filed for bankruptcy, so I didn't have his money. So,
And Yonnic's dad would have been rich if
If he didn't have 10 kids.
but I mean, they were so mean. Like somebody told me that I had a gay mustache, and then he flipped me off after, and I was like,
Maybe fair.
okay.
But I think like
Lauren likes it.
we've
It
also
does.
met a bunch of really nice Clemson fans as well.
Yeah, that's what shocked me. Is like it was literally
It was
horrible.
like
There were some that were really nice, and then there were some that were
Actually-
just terrible.
there was one at the diner that was like really nice to the SMU fans.
She was so nice that she was making out with a dude in SMU shirt. Like she came up to our table and started, trash talking SMU. And then we're walking out of the restaurant and she's just kissing,
making
just
out.
making out with a guy in an SMU shirt.
Yep.
And all of us do a second take.
Yeah.
Well, but not only that, in the restaurant, they left their table to sit with people they did not know, and they were singing, and it was bad.
And
then
It was
that.
weird.
When she walked to our table, her first question was, how did you decide to start cheering for SMU?
Yeah.
She was like, why are you an SMU fan?
We all were just like,
So they have a really good engineering program.
Yeah.
We went
And then
to school there.
Yeah, and then they proceeded to walk off and then spell the name of their school just to prove that they know how to spell.
Yeah.
hey,
That's true.
Clemson should be proud that they are educating their students well enough to be able to spell. So
I did look
good
up
job.
their average ACT is actually pretty high. It's like a 30. SMU's is a 32 though. So
That's a lot higher than I expected.
Clemson's a good school.
I never took the ACT, so
I didn't either.
SAT boy.
I guess we got a bad sample tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
Well,
No kidding.
they're a big states, but not everyone
No,
who's a
30's
Clemson
the
fan went to
average.
Clemson.
Yeah, that is the average.
Yeah.
There were a lot of 36s.
Now what? Now what's the mean? The question is, what's the mean? From what we experienced tonight, the mean's probably a
Low 20s.
low to mid 20s.
I think what's funny is like, who decides to go to Clemson if you're not from South Carolina? Like you're in a fake wannabe SEC school,
Maybe you couldn't get into UNC.
maybe. But I'm kind of thinking outside of South and North Carolina. Like there's a guy in front of us. He's from Dallas. I'm like, why did you choose to go to Clemson?
What did he say?
Well, Cade Clemson
I
is from
didn't know.
Dallas,
He's from Austin.
Austin, Texas. That's what I meant.
Okay, we don't need
Maybe
to.
they.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the game.
I will say the second half was electric. We
Yeah.
moved
Yeah.
down
Oh
to
my
the lower
goodness.
bowl.
Where the
And
SMU
shout out
fans
to
were.
this SMU fan who was standing one row in front of us. like constantly doing the Florida State chant, like just screaming his like heart out, banging.
Bro,
the
he was
chair
smacking that chair hard.
so
with his
hard.
hand.
And
Break his
He was
I know.
inspired.
I mean, he single-handedly changed the atmosphere of our section.
And then some
Basically.
guys and a kid started taking off their shirts, and it was interesting.
It was sad when they put the shirts back on.
Yeah, they-
we started
Dude,
to lose momentum.
Dude, I'm pretty sure the security made the kid put his shirt back
really?
on.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
so.
weird.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Well, he was like
I don't know if it was like
6, so they probably didn't want a 6-year-old out there shirtless in 35-degree weather.
it was very cold.
Yeah. What do we want to talk about the game?
Let's
I
talk
mean,
about
like,
the touchdown. The touchdown
The final
was
one, or-
electric.
Oh my gosh,
When we
it was
tied
yeah.
the game, like
Yeah, what was the stand? What were the
dude,
stands
it
like?
was
We went
like
wild.
we were all like we couldn't believe that was happening. Like Drew was like, I'm not even like reacting to the fact that we scored. Yeah, you were. What were you saying?
I didn't cheer at all. I was just in shock.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean,
And-
it's like we were so surprised. We left the press box right before the punt where we got the ball, and then we were on the field as we drove down the field, and it was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all
So
like,
great.
is this real? Like, we're going to go to the playoffs? Clearly, we ended up
Well-
losing. But for like a hot second, it
We'll
was
see.
incredible.
We knew that at that point in the game, we knew we were a better team than them. We knew we were playing better, and we knew that all the momentum was in our favor.
And
It
we
took-
would have won in overtime. Like we had,
Yeah.
we were dominating at that point.
for sure. But
Looking at the,
it-
hold on, I get the, Andrew
Someone
Sneed in the
live
chat says can't see Joel. He's partly off screen. Thanks, Andrew Sneed.
It's too
probably
bad he can't hear the comment. 'cause
probably
he
a
doesn't have
bot.
headphones on.
It's a very efficient way
Yeah,
to
we'll scoot
communicate
over.
that. Thank you, Andrew Sneed.
I will say too at the like when we tied it up, or yeah, before we kicked the field goal to tie it up, the confidence in the stands was sky high. People were holding up too. They were ready, like everyone in the stands was ready to go for it.
Yeah.
And if that's how we lost, they were gonna be fine with that. But the energy was just crazy.
Yeah, so Rhett was asked about that. Is like, hey, were you thinking about going for 2? And essentially his answer was, like, we were so hot. If we got to overtime, we were winning this game.
Yeah, he was so
Yeah.
he was like
Well-
if we made it to overtime, we're gonna
Definitely.
And that's the thing is, it was the right call. There was 16 seconds left. That wasn't a lot of time. It took their season best kickoff return with their season best kick.
I mean, that was
To
a
get
terrible
beat us.
kickoff kick.
It was
Terrible.
And the coverage was.
but
The
it
coverage
bad.
was the worst.
but it basically took like 3 plays in a row that were low probability plays for them to get it.
Yeah, I don't get the decision. We were talking about it. I don't get the decision to have Colin Rogers do that kickoff there. Because throughout the season, he's had several out of bounds kickoffs.
Yeah.
He's had several short kickoffs.
Yeah.
They typically use the other kicker
Gabriel.
for
Yeah.
Yeah, Alonzo.
for their
Lozano.
kickoffs. And
Lozano.
Sorry.
something like this, you want a kicker where you can pretty much guarantee that it's going out the back.
To
of the
be
end
fair
zone.
though, the last time I saw him kick, he did not kick it into the end zone. Like it was short, but they called a fair catch.
Yeah,
That's true.
There were
Yeah.
2 at the beginning of the second half that he had that were like really good. He kicked it to like the 2 or 3 yard line, and we got him within the 20. And so
Yeah.
our coverage was really good on those 2.
Yeah. I mean,
We
it
just didn't have the coverage.
obviously you need the kicker and the coverage to work.
I thought it was going to be a squib kick. If you're going to let him return,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
But I also was surprised that we didn't ice their kicker because he was a freshman. He's had
Yeah.
a bad year.
Red had 2 timeouts
He had
left.
timeouts.
Or
Yeah.
did he have 2 or 1?
I don't know.
He had 2.
I think there may be something to like, oh, I think he's about to ice me. So like,
So you should ice him once. And then
you
leave
can
it.
only ice him once.
Yeah, you can't call 2 timeouts
can't
in a
call
row.
2.
Ryan Day
Oh,
learned
really?
that.
Didn't
I'm
the
not
refs
sure if
let
he
him
did
do
learn
it too?
No, he got called for the penalty that he was trying to avoid with the second time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I was thinking we should have iced him, but also it's easy to say in hindsight. Like, if he'd missed it, would have been genius that we didn't call it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely did not think he was gonna.
I mean, what happens happens. There's only so much
Yeah.
you can do. Like, odds were not in his favor to make that.
No,
But
Yeah.
I can't believe
It's what
he made it.
happened.
Honestly,
What did we think as soon as he kicked it? Balls in the air.
it was.
I thought he was
low.
gonna miss.
It was low. It,
It
looked
was
like it was
very
not
low.
gonna go in.
yeah.
And it wasn't like it wobbled a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's-
It didn't spin like.
Yeah.
Nobody cheered until they saw the ref signal that it went in. Because
Yeah.
nobody thought that went in.
yeah.
Yeah. And we keep talking about the kickoff and then the kick, but like the play in between, right? So there were 16
Yeah.
seconds left, and then they kicked it, or we kicked it off to them, and then they got it like the 45 or whatever, and then and then a 7-second play. So going from 17 to
16 to 9.
to 16 to 9, and then from 9 to 3, they got like 20 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
Like,
are brutal.
Like honestly, that's the worst play.
Like our defense had locked
Giving
them
up
down
that-
that entire quarter.
Yeah, giving up that play was the worst.
And they gave him just enough. Like,
Honestly,
if they got 2
Rhett
yards
should have called
close.
the timeout there.
Yeah.
Should have called the timeout for that play.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, defense, please stop them.
I agree.
It's prevent defense.
There's so many what ifs.
It never works out.
Obviously, we can pick apart every single play going through the whole game and like picking out the what ifs of, what little bit, if Colin Rogers made the field goal, if
Yeah.
Kevin Jennings didn't fumble it or throw an interception,
Yeah.
if the refs didn't suck. I mean, like, there's a lot of different things that we could go through.
Yeah, we can't get fined, but we can say it.
I actually didn't think the refs were that bad.
0 penalties on Clemson.
They were horrible.
Dude, Brian is full of ice cold takes.
No, like the refs were not good. They were not that bad. Like aside from the roughing the passer,
In the miss roughing the passer, in the miss face mask.
The thermometer in here is set to
But-
70
but-
degrees.
Missed
It's
holding.
ice cold
but
outside.
there-
Bro, you were like the
but
heater
there's-
for the hot tub.
but
out there.
there's-
You were ice cold.
there was like there's always plays that
no
like
one
don't
listening's
get
going to
called,
get
right?
that joke.
Yeah, but I got it.
There's always like calls that don't get called. I don't think that refs were that bad.
Joel,
They shouldn't
you
have-
can take the mic. And
They shouldn't have cost us the game because we were the better team.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have our own fumble and our own interception,
Yeah, we lost
we should
the
have
game
won.
ourselves.
We did.
Like
we did.
But-
Clemson didn't beat
In
us.
close games where you play relatively equal, or if you play better to make up for your turnovers, yeah, I mean, refs can cost you the game. And, if they weren't that bad, yeah, we probably would have won. But we should have won anyway because we were the better team the whole game except for the first, 10 minutes.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Is they didn't cost us the game. I think that's fair. Who cost us the game? It was us, right?
Yeah.
It's like all the dropped passes, all of the turnovers in the first half. Like that's what cost us the game. And I think if you're truly better than the other team, you should be able to overcome the few penalties we had. And in comparison to last week, man, we cut our
10
penalties
fewer
way
penalties.
down.
I think we had
11.
16
Yeah.
last week, right? Or was it
17
11?
last
we
week.
had 11 today.
So 11 fewer.
No.
We had 6.
11 fewer. We had
Oh,
6
yeah.
today for 65 yards. So which is
Below our average of
is
80.
way below our average.
Yeah.
It may be the
15
best.
yards below our
even
average.
even the personal foul or roughing, like the unnecessary roughness or whatever on the second Clemson drive. No, on our second drive when we kicked it off to them, and then they had an extra 15 yards and they were starting at our 30-yard line again. Like that killed us.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Go ahead.
I was just asking a clarifying question. You're talking about when he called a fair catch and then got tackled?
Oh my god. No, not that one. The
was so
one where
stupid.
they returned it, and they returned it a little bit, and I think it was like on our kick, we did something.
I think
to
we
them.
punted. I think it was a punt,
Yeah, we
and we
punted.
committed unnecessary roughness.
Yeah.
Okay, is it the kick catch interference or where we kept playing without our helmet?
I think it was that
the
one.
helmet.
It was the helmet.
Yeah.
See, but we didn't know. Like, we didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah,
we
a
did.
player got his helmet knocked off and he kept playing, and that's what the penalty was for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just looking at the stats. We averaged 80 yards a game in penalties.
Yeah.
So big improvement. So hats off to Rhett for improving the discipline of the team.
I'm going to make this about myself. I was the one that asked Rhett the question about the penalties after the last game, and he said it has to be better. So I think I inspired him and the team to be
Yeah,
better.
it was better, but
But the
I mean,
problem
when
is,
you're great or when you're good and you just get, a team that showed up is great. 0 penalties for 0 yards for Clemson. That's absolutely insane.
They
yeah.
played the perfect game,
and
supposedly.
I think when it comes to penalties, Coach Lashley made a good point last week when he spoke on it. It was he cares less about the penalties where we're just like playing hard and more about the ones where it's before or after the snap,
Yeah.
which I agree with. And I think the two main factors that matter with penalties when it comes to games is like ones that are around crucial moments, and then also just the difference in penalty yards for each team. It's like this one, like we kind of failed on both ends. Like, yes, we did better than our average by 15 yards, but we got penalties at times that really mattered to us. And the deficit between our two teams was 65 yards, which is quite a big deficit for penalties, because usually it's we get a lot of penalty yards, but the difference is pretty close to the other team, not 65 yards difference, So that's what really killed us.
Yeah, but ultimately it comes back to turnovers.
Yes.
And drop balls and missed opportunities. It's like, yes, like we did get, we may have not got everything to go our way as far as officiating goes and environment goes and like in lots of things, but like ultimately we shot ourselves in the foot.
Agreed. And I think,
Which is,
yeah,
it's just the worst, right? It's like we know that we could have played better. We know we could have done better. We could have won this game. We had everything that we needed to win this game.
Same as BYU, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We gave them that game.
Oh, yeah.
and I actually think this could be helpful for us because in the first half, like I mentioned, the moment felt too big for us.
Yeah.
Like we were dropping passes, like the play calling wasn't the best, and I think this actually could be our benefit if we were to hopefully make the playoff, which we could talk about.
Yeah.
Is I think like maybe get our jitters out for the big like game against Clemson going into the playoff. Maybe this like coming out of the BYU game, we were electric for TCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what we needed.
We'd love to see in the chat whether you think we're going to get in or not. So just say yes or no.
Yeah, should we just go to the press conference and listen to what a few things Lashley had to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Spelled Lashley wrong.
Yeah, that's all right.
LASHLEE.
Uh-oh. Let me hook up the Bluetooth here.
Oh, no.
Walker strikes at the IT.
Yeah, I'm just...
Are we seeing varsity in the meantime?
No. Why is it not connecting? I don't know. Y'all keep talking about something else.
Well, why don't we talk about whether or not we think we're going to make the playoffs?
Yeah. What do y'all think?
At halftime, it was an absolute no. After the game, I feel like we should. I think we will. But
I think we will, and I think we'll be ranked above Clemson.
I feel like enough media people are talking about it that the committee knows there's going to be an uproar if we don't get in.
But do you think they care?
They're going to
I think
forget
they care
about
what
it in a
people
week.
think of them.
Yeah,
There's
Dave-
going to be
I
a
don't think
big
so,
uproar
'cause,
for 1 week,
like-
and then everyone's going to forget.
Yeah.
Leaving out Florida State last year is honestly crazy.
It was
if
worse
they were-
than this year.
If they were going to do that, I don't think they care about what other people think.
David, Sean, and Juan all think yes, including 2 people with Sean.
Yeah. But
Well, that's what, like, all of Twitter agrees that we're going to get.
I
The
think
problem
with-
is that the committee's
yeah, I think with Florida State, they also took into account the fact that their quarterback was hurt.
I mean, that's the only reason why they left him out.
And I think
Yeah.
that's completely stupid. And I think that makes them they
Well-
know people are gonna be mad about.
Well,
that.
they could justify that we're playing with our backup. Because in the beginning of the season, technically,
Yeah.
it was our backup.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so here were Lashley's opening remarks at the press conference.
Yeah, want to congratulate Clemson and Coach Sweeney on a great game and great finish in a championship tonight. We're disappointed, obviously. Great comeback, and look, we had a really bad first quarter. You have a bad first quarter and get down 21-7 because we 2 turnovers and put the ball, gave them the ball I think 4 times on the plus side of the field. Because I thought our defense played really well, but it was just tough. So, yeah, the guys are disappointed, but I'm really, really proud of them. I think they showed the championship makeup they have. I think they show what kind of team they are. The way they battled back second, third, and fourth quarter and tied the game with, 16 seconds left. So, you know, I don't know what y'all think about this, but it's the truth. So, you know, sometimes, we've had a great year. We've been 11-2 now. We've had a lot of praise and we've had a lot of glory brought our way, and it's really easy when you're winning to be, feeling good and happy. When you lose, it's easy to blame and do other things, but we're still going to get praise and glory where it's deserved. And Jesus Christ deserves all the glory for this team to share
Amen.
what we've been able to do. So we're going to return that glory and praise to Him, and I'll answer questions.
Okay, questions raised.
That was good stuff.
Love Coach.
Love our coach.
Yeah.
Even
Even
you have
the-
the one where he responded to like,
Yeah, I'm pulling it
Playoff.
up now.
yeah, I think he's such a great leader. I'm very thankful that Rhett Lashley is our coach. He's like,
Yeah.
if Dabo Sweeney liked the transfer portal.
for sure.
And whined less.
So someone asked him, like, what message do you want to send to the CFP committee?
Like, what do you want to say to them?
Yeah, and this is his response.
I think it's like 11 hours, right? Yeah. So they don't care what I say. I don't have a message. It'd be criminal if we're not in. So it would be it would be wrong. It'd be wrong on so many levels, not just our team. It'd be wrong to what college football stands for, to what it is. I mean, we just played a playoff game basically out there and played pretty dang good. I mean, that was a pretty good game. I think for the last 3 quarters, everybody saw what they've seen all year. So our team deserves a chance to be in. It doesn't matter what I say, but it would be incredibly wrong. I think it would be unprecedented. It would set a really bad precedent. It would break all the principles of what we've been told. So, I mean, if you're going to take a team that goes 8-0 in a power conference, one of the 3 best conferences, only 2 teams did that. We were in. We could have not showed up, and according to what we were told Tuesday night, we'd be in. So we showed up, and we competed our butts off, and I don't know what to say. They don't care what I say, but we should be in. They know we should be in, so we'll see what happens. Front row, coach.
The only thing is, it's not unprecedented.
Right.
Florida State. That's the only thing I disagree with Coach on.
Yeah.
Florida State last year did deserve to be in, and the committee took it upon themselves to say, "All right, your quarterback's injured, you're out."
And put Bama in.
It would be unprecedented in
And
the
it's literally
12-team
Bama. Yeah,
playoff, though.
it was
Well,
literally
there is no
Bama.
precedent
They-
for that.
They've never done that before in
Okay,
the 12-team playoff.
That's a great point.
Didn't Bama win the SEC last year?
Yes.
They did.
Okay, so
How did Bama
But we
do
went-
in the first round of the playoffs? Oh.
How did Florida State do in the Orange Bowl?
Oh.
Oh. A little different tone. But the committee doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, they really don't. And at the end of the day, they sell views.
We'll see if they're gonna go for the money or
That's the
money.
problem.
It'll be the money. It's like,
probably.
Vegas right now says we have a 75% chance.
I like that. I like those odds.
it was higher right out of the game, though.
Yeah. Somehow it fluttered up to 98% for a moment
Yeah.
and then just dropped.
It's been dropping. So, and it'll probably continue to drop until tomorrow. Because
At noon,
fans
when
are...
it hits 0%.
Guys,
Fans saw the game and they got really excited. They're
Guys,
like,
it's a-
"This is a really good team. They
it's
should
in
be
like
in the playoffs."
9 hours.
But the committees don't. Doesn't matter.
That's insane.
That is crazy. It's in 9 hours.
But
Hey,
if people
Joel.
are listening, people will probably know.
Over there, there's a trophy. Would you mind picking that up and kind of handing it over?
Oh yeah.
So we haven't decided yet who we're going to give this to, but you just, yeah. There you go. The Mustang. Oh,
whoa,
Wow.
easy,
Hey,
man.
hey.
That thing's heavy.
jeez.
Golly.
So,
Glad I got you guys to protect me.
Yeah.
I mean, does anyone have strong opinions about who the Mustang Mood player of the game should be?
The black and white stripes. The refs.
No, that's the trophy for the other team. Like, you can... We don't have a
No,
trophy for
they
other
were the
team.
player of the game. They won the game today.
I think we give it to the guy who made it possible for us to be here, who's so electric and scares the ever living crap out of me every time he runs the ball. The one and only Kevin Jennings.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about?
That's not what I was expecting you to say based on how you were wording it.
I mean, he really did go from having a terrible, first quarter to playing actually absolutely electric, football. Like, he was escaping the pocket. He was looking like Manziel if Manziel never ran the ball and he just passed. Like, he was escaping and throwing side passes, looking like Patrick Mahomes.
Which, if you were to tell me that he would be throwing crazy passes at the beginning of the season, I'd be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Let's give him the second half player of the game.
He's
Second
I
half
feel
of
like
the game.
Yeah.
I feel like that interception is
Let me
just
just cut it in
so-
half
it's
real
just-
quick.
It's just so bad that I can't give him the full game.
yeah.
I think
All right.
Rashard Smith.
But-
Oh, here's the first half or second.
But
half.
I will say, I mean, Kevin Jennings is this is my Kevin. If you ever watch this, I think you should get the nickname the Necromancer because you bring these dead plays to life.
I like that.
I feel like that'd be sick. He should just come in with a black mask or something, and be like, "I'm the Necromancer." Yeah. Just a thought.
Okay.
So should we give the other one to Kobe Wilson, who led the team in tackles with 15?
Wow.
I mean, Kobe just he was all over
Wow,
the field
15.
on
And-
defense.
That one tackle, I think it was of a tight end where he just body slammed him into the ground.
Yeah,
That was
that was
hilarious.
epic.
That's great.
Kobe's
All right.
strong.
First half, Mustang Moon player of the game. There you go, Kobe.
There we go.
Good
Kobe.
job.
Congratulations, guys. Excited about that.
So someone asked Coach what his emotions were in the last 1 minute of the game, and this was his response.
A minute later, being on the losing
Well,
end.
that's the question. There we go.
I don't know. I'm in the middle of them right now. You know, I'm hurting for our guys. It was a great game, great battle. You know, like I said, we did some things that were uncharacteristic in the first quarter and put us in a hole. It's hard, and we dug out of it. And you know, it looked like we were going to overtime, and we don't cover a kick well. And they make a great 55-yarder or whatever it was, and give them credit. I mean, they played well early, and they finished on the last play, and here we are on the wrong end of 34-31. But I'm just hurting for our guys. I'm hurting because I think, for good reason, their faith in the system is shaken right now. I think they're all in there wondering, are they going to be in tomorrow? You know, is the fix in? Or is the right thing going to be done? That's the truth. And so they're hurting because they lost the game. They're hurting because they want to win a championship. They're hurting because they know they could have won. And then they clawed their way all the way back. And then at the last minute, they made a great play. But I think the most important thing that I've noticed, they're hurting because, yeah, there's not been a lot of confidence given to them that they did what they were supposed to do, and it's been enough. So I'm hurting for them, and I hope in 11 hours I won't be.
It's crazy that Ray Lashley implied that there may or may not be a fix in.
Is the fix in says it all.
Yeah.
It just says it all.
I mean, the game felt like it was. Tonight's game felt like it was fixed at times. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
they've been laying the groundwork for Bama to take our spot like all week.
yeah. So Walker and I did notice some a little possible area of possible shenanigans happening. So the commissioner of the ACC got off the set of the ACC PM show and immediately walked up to one of the referees and started like whispering into his ear. And this is actually, we were so close that this is what I assume he said. Hey, can you please make sure that Clemson wins, but make sure it's close because we want to put 2 teams in the playoffs.
True story.
I think I heard that too, but he said, "Don't make it obvious. Call a penalty."
They didn't get that.
Yeah,
They
don't
didn't
call any penalties.
They didn't get that memo.
Yeah, he didn't.
No, they didn't.
They tried.
They
on
tried that
a
one
kick
time.
that we made, and they were just like, "Hey, just do something here. They'll decline it."
That was ridiculous.
You know who also played really well today? Isaac Pearson. He had some
He had some awesome punts.
really good punts.
Do you want to say something, Joel?
No, I mean, it was just super impressive. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we had 2 punts within the 5, I think. Great place to be,
One of
especially
them was like on the one.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
one to close out the first half.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was hilarious when Brett kept calling the timeouts at the end of the first half. That was awesome, and
Clemson
all the
fans-
Clemson
fans were
fans
booing.
Also, the Clemson fans love PETA.
Yeah.
We found that out today.
They were booing Peruna.
Yeah.
yeah, they are pro PETA.
Yeah,
in
they were
Clemson,
booing
South
Peruna
Carolina.
as when we scored and ran Peruna across the field. They would boo him, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, they suck.
Really ridiculous. And when they ran the live tiger across the field, we didn't say anything.
We said that's
Hey.
actually pretty sick.
Tony the Tiger.
They're
What a guy.
Great.
Well, actually, they're not that great, but you know.
Yeah, one thing I learned tonight is that I just absolutely hate Clemson's cheer where they spell the name of their school. Like I think that is the most annoying cheer. It beats out Arkansas. I think it beats out Arkansas. The Woo Pig Suey, you know?
Yeah, no, it definitely beats out Arkansas.
What about oh?
No,
I love that
No,
one.
that's
That's a meme.
annoying.
That's our
like
favorite.
they literally do it after like every first down.
What
They
about
don't have real.
Anytime a
Riff
big
Raff?
It's so annoying.
Oh yeah,
I think
Yeah,
my
Riff
favorite,
Ram is-
the one funny part about their spelling out Clemson Tigers, I think is funny, is they kind of like pause on the O and there's like a short delay in the N where it just kind of sounds like they forget that it's spelled with an N at the end.
dude, Clemson. No,
Well, but a lot
Dude,
of them
their
fill it in
fans
with,
also-
with MF, so it's like
they're AMF.
Their fans also are not coordinated. They do not say it at the same time. Like it's always off, like for different parts of the crowd.
Yeah.
It annoyed me the whole night. I was like, these guys need to
I think
like,
that's normal. But
dude. Having grown up
Well,
going
they're
to
all
A&M
hearing
games,
the-
like they need to get like some kind of thing where they practice.
It's because they're
It
all
looks
hearing the
bad.
band at the different times, you know, because you're different distances away from the band. and that's
Well,
what
they-
they're basing it on.
Then they need to
Sound
start.
travels pretty fast.
They need to figure something out
does.
because it is not. It does not come across as a good stadium environment.
If we can, kind of while we're talking about like Clemson fans, I do want to touch on. I think we mentioned a little bit earlier, but how much of a home Clemson game it felt like.
Oh my gosh!
And I think it's even beyond. Like the fourth quarter was egregious, where like all of a sudden all the lights turn orange, and the lights are flickering, and there's a hype video, and we talked about how we kind of had our own thing that just maybe it's our fault that it's not up to the same intensity.
Yeah.
But another thing in our like really sad post game meal, we were kind of talking about this, and I think one of you guys mentioned how the ACC championship game is always played in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
And
2 hours away from.
maybe that's kind of a big reason why Clemson has run the ACC for the past 10 years is because every single team visiting is, I mean, there's other teams in North Carolina, but like if, I don't know, with the conference expanding, people being in different locations, why not have it at different stadiums?
Actually, a neutral site.
Change it up.
I disagree with that. Why hasn't TCU won a Big 12 title game? If that's the case.
Well, it's
Well,
also
TCU
because
sucks.
Well, it's also because UT is also not that far away.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's
and
just that
and
TCU
OU is
sucks.
not that
Well,
far.
I think our SMU fans, for the size of our fan base and the size of our school, traveled
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we had 25%.
We had almost.
I think.
Almost
I
a
really
full
wish
half
we
of the
would play
lower bowl.
Miami.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a much more fun experience.
And we had some Miami fans on our side.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were some Miami fans there,
which
that
is
were
hilarious.
just cheering against Clemson. So
Yeah.
they were cheering for us.
I agree with Joel, though. They should find the exact midpoint between North Carolina and San Francisco and just put it there. It's probably Nebraska.
Branson, Missouri is going to be the ACC.
I did see on Twitter today that the SEC is talking about potentially having a rotating list of cities for their championship game,
Wow.
It's probably good.
which I think would be good for their conference. And I think if they do that, I think it would be
No. Yeah.
fun at least. Maybe even if they don't come all the way down to Dallas, like if you move it around like Miami up to Charlotte up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean,
Why
isn't
not have
isn't
the
the
ACC like leader host the game?
I don't.
I can also no.
You need a bigger stadium.
For the other one,
No, we don't need a bigger stadium. That stadium was like 50% empty.
No.
They literally
No.
had
Then our
tarps
stadium.
going.
it wasn't 50%.
No, but
No, dude, the whole upper section.
no, but if it
on
was
two
like
sides were
if it was like
completely
Clemson
covered with
versus
tarps.
UNC, it would be sold out.
Yeah.
No, but
If it were at SMU,
It's so-
we could fit every fan inside that
I
stadium.
think it's
We
tacky,
could've
but
fit
like
them
for the
all. It was-
AAC and stuff when they.
Yeah.
hosted.
There were definitely
Yeah.
more than 35,000
Silly.
people there. Yonnic.
It was 55,000, according to Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
Okay, but guys, I have an idea. Next year when we go to Clemson, we should all show up, obviously, and we should do the same thing back to them, and we should spell our name SOUTHERN
space
and then we go Mustangs too, so it takes like an hour to do, and then they'll understand how annoying it is when you spell out your name.
I don't think they will. I think it would go over their
And then
heads.
pause right before the S on Mustangs.
G
S.
Yeah, that would go
Oh,
over their
man.
heads for sure.
Did we
Anyway,
officially
we're-
give out player of the game?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Kobe got the first half player of the game, and KJ got the second half. Isaac got the special teams player of the game. Sorry,
Yeah.
here's his trophy.
Here you go, Isaac. Also, we got to meet Isaac's dad
Yeah,
and brothers.
and his brothers.
They
were
are
awesome.
a rowdy
They were
bunch.
at the
Oh
game?
my gosh.
they were at the
Yeah.
game.
Where'd you guys see them?
They were just like in the end zone by the band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw them.
Oh yeah, tell your.
And then I rode to the game with Isaiah Wakobia's mom, Linda. If you ever watched this, shout out. She's one of the coolest.
Well, you didn't
people
just
ever.
ride with her. You flew.
Yeah, what's the
were-
story?
like-
So how about you just give us your whole itinerary?
Yes.
Oh,
Walk
yeah,
us through.
so-
Perfect.
So I got up this morning. Actually, it
my
was
gosh.
yesterday morning, and we celebrated my daughter's first birthday because today is her birthday. And then I got on. I went to the airport. Got there like 45 minutes before my flight was supposed to take off.
Your flight was at what time?
Oh, the flight was. It was at like 3:40
P.M.
p.m.
And the game was at 8 o'clock.
And the game's at 8 here. So,
Eastern.
Yeah.
3:40
3:40
Central.
Central.
Games at 8 Eastern.
I was supposed to arrive 45 minutes before the game starts. So I get there, they shift the terminals. I'm literally like sprinting through the airport to try to get there. I get there 3 minutes before boarding closes.
Where was your
In Dallas.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then,
okay.
of course, I'm flying Spirit because, I'm cheap like that trying to get this flight in. And they literally take us down to a bus to bus us over to a plane, way out in the middle of the airport field.
No.
And so we just and we climb up this little ramp to get into the
plane.
just in the middle of the field, basically, to get into the plane. And I sit down and lo and behold, Linda, Isaiah's mom, is next to me on the plane. I was like, "Oh, you're going for the game?" She's like, "Yeah, are you?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh," and then we started talking, and she's like, she's telling me all about it, about how she and his flag football coach, Coach Jimmy, if you watch it, shout out to you too. He drove us to the game.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Coach
But
Jimmy.
we were sprinting, and we got to the game a few minutes after it started.
Wow.
It's
That's
pretty great.
awesome.
That's so cool.
Shout
And
out.
I'm gonna fly back I'm gonna leave in
Right. You're
2.5
playing
hours.
Yeah, it's currently 3:12 a.m. Eastern, and your flight's at 5:20. Your flight's in 2 hours.
Yeah, it's in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we got to wrap this up and take
Peace
it
out,
to
Charlotte.
work.
Should we talk about tomorrow, I guess, or
Yeah.
in a few hours specifically?
I think we should, and then we can kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll give some more opinions later.
Yeah, and
but-
people in the chat are just saying they're gonna riot and stuff if we don't get in.
Yeah, I really think that if you lose games,
It shouldn't matter.
you lost the right to complain.
Yeah.
And ultimately,
But that's the thing is we didn't lose games. We won all of our conference
except
games.
for today, we lost.
Well, but
But we won all of our conference games.
Yeah, except for today when we lost.
but how can you say the same thing about Alabama?
Well,
They
exactly.
lost 3
No,
games.
I don't think any.
No,
of us
they lost
really
2 games and they
Yeah,
got
I
destroyed.
fully agree with Jay. Honestly, have 11 teams in the playoffs. Nobody
Yeah.
deserves a 12 seed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree that no one deserves the spot. But you have to have it, and so it doesn't matter who they pick. They can pick Miami.
Whoa.
They could pick
It does matter.
Ole Miss. They could pick Alabama, or whoever they want to pick. It just it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of us deserve it, so just pick one of us. I do think that we have the best resume. I think we are the most deserving, but of the people who don't deserve it.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. If we wanted to be in, we controlled our own destiny, and we failed to control our own destiny. So I do think, as much as I'm convinced that the playoff committee will do whatever they can to put Bama in, but I don't. As I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, no, they totally can. They totally can say
Yeah, they
one thing
absolutely
all season. We're not going to punish you. We're not going to punish you. We're not going to punish you for playing in a conference championship, and then punish us.
They absolutely can.
Yeah, they will. But I don't know. I think they won't because literally the only people that want Bama in the playoff is Bama fans and ESPN.
Yeah.
And some SEC fans.
Well, the
And
SEC,
some
the
SEC.
entire Greg, was it Swanky?
Sankey.
Swanky. We'll call him Swanky now. Well, he of course wants them in. More SEC teams in, it's better for the SEC. You don't always say the SEC is.
Yeah, but dude.
And dude,
Kirby's
Lane
smart.
Kiffin,
Oh, Lane Cliff. Yeah.
him promoting Bama like that. It's dude, can you you're just totally showing off little brother energy.
He's a clown.
He is. Well, yeah.
He really
Ole Miss-
is.
Ole Miss is
He
little brother.
said some really stupid things
Yeah.
last week. I'm like,
But-
man, you're not even playing.
Dude,
right
Ole
now.
Miss hasn't won an SEC championship in 70 years.
Yeah.
and they're not going to.
Ole Miss has never won. I
Tulane
guess
hasn't
They finally
either,
won a
but-
big game this year, but still, they lost to.
But regardless, I mean,
Kentucky.
do we deserve to be in the current way that it's formatted? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we going to get in? I mean, I'd lean no right now. I just think they've laid too much groundwork for Bama, and I think that they're probably going to pick Bama.
I still think we're in.
I lean yes, actually. I'm
Yeah.
surprisingly. I would have thought. I won't be surprised, but
You're setting yourself up for heartbreak, my dude.
Yes,
I'm gonna be
let's go
heartbroken
around and
regardless.
we'll give an official, yes or no. So Joel, you want to start?
Sorry to clarify. We're saying, do we think
Are we
they'll
in?
put us in?
Yeah. Does
What do you
SMU
think
or
should
Alabama
happen?
get in?
I think we will, and I think it's because if we don't, then they're saying that a 56-yard field goal is the difference, and that's pretty crazy.
A record-breaking.
A
Well, I mean,
record-breaking 56.
But Georgia's in because I guess they won their conference championship. But in 8 overtime games, how can you draw a result from that? If we went to 8 overtimes today, and then Clemson was left out, Like that'd be rough. Or, vice versa. Like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's 3 a.m.
I mean, I'll clarify. I agree with you, Jay, that like it's not that we deserve to be in. At this point, I don't think we can say we deserve to be in. We just, compared to some other resumes, we feel like it's makes more sense.
Yeah.
But my prediction, I think that they'll put us in still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think SMU gets in.
Yeah, I'm a slight lean to getting in, but I won't be surprised if they screw us over.
Don't ride the fence. Pick a side.
No, I said
Okay,
I
slight lean. Okay, and then you fall over onto the side. I got you. Okay.
that was a perfectly fine answer. I don't have any regret.
I also think that we will get a spot. They'll let us in.
I think we will not get a spot. I think we should. And I can't wait to complain about it on the podcast. It's going to be so great to complain.
It will be good content.
It'll be great content, and I will be sad.
Oh.
But, yeah, I don't think we're going to get in.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's semantics, but I think we do. I think deserve is just we deserve more than any of the other teams.
That's fair.
So in that way, I think we absolutely deserve to get in, but I also don't think that we're going to get in. And you guys are going to see a podcast title of worst snub in history. Probably not the worst snub in history, but yeah.
I think we're in, and I think we'll be the 11th seed. And I hope we play Texas.
Oh, that'd be so
that would be the
electric.
dream scenario.
12 at
I'd be
Texas.
so sad. I'm gonna be in Europe, but that would be
Give us-
really
ACC.
disappointing.
If
Give
we
us
get
Texas.
in and we play Texas and beat Texas, I will be so glad we lost this game.
Yeah.
Just so that we could go in there and beat Texas at their home. Like,
Yeah, and
that would be
Like,
awesome.
I think this actually is the best thing that will happen to us because we'll have the jitters out. We'll beat Texas, and then we'll play Boise State.
yeah,
destroy
and then we'll play
State.
Boise.
is the 3 seed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and
we'd
then,
play
and then we'll
them.
play overrated Georgia or
They suck.
Oregon. Yeah,
They
we'll
suck
beat them.
too.
Okay, so we're gonna win in Natty is what we're saying.
And then
Let's
we'll lose
go.
the national championship game.
If we get
Like
to play
field goal.
Texas, I actually like our odds, and if we beat Texas, then we're going to play Boise,
Dude,
which I also like.
If we
our
beat
odds there.
Texas, they would never hear the end of that.
If we beat Texas, that would be the most electric thing of all time.
They're also
It'd be awesome.
0-2 against top 25
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah, but
somehow
nobody's-
they're
nobody's-
guaranteed a
somehow
spot.
Nobody's gonna talk about that tomorrow. I can guarantee it. It's ridiculous.
Dude.
All right, shall we finish by just a quick varsity and then let's just
Everybody,
thank you for a great season.
yeah.
Yeah, what a
Whatever.
great year.
Whatever happens tomorrow, none of us predicted that we would have. I guess you predicted. Y'all predicted.
We
10,
predicted
10 and 2,
predicted
right?
10 and 2.
2
10 and 2.
Yeah.
So then what are we? We're
We're 11 and 2.
11 and 2. Yeah. So 11 and 1 regular season. Nobody predicted that.
Nobody predicted
It's
we'd be
more
in
than
the
we asked
championship
for.
game.
This is more than anything we could have asked for.
Yeah.
This podcast being what it has become is
Yeah.
more than any of us could have ever expected.
That's right.
And
Mhm.
same thing Brett said. Like all the glory is not to us, but to God.
Amen.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So to close this out,
I can't really find a good version of varsity. So
That's okay. We're about to put one on.
We're
YouTube
going to start
live.
a men's a cappella group.
here we go. This looks like a strings version. So we'll.
Oh,
we see a varsity, 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 as she towers o'er the hill, over
Please
there.
like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram.
And our hearts are filled with joy. SMU, SMU, alma mater will be true forever. All
Yeah.
right, guys.
So thanks for listening
Thank
to
you,
the
guys.
special ACC Championship version of the Mustang Mood podcast, live from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's crazy. Great season. Thanks everyone for listening. If you haven't already, like the video and leave us a comment. Go follow us on Instagram.
Come on.
And hopefully we talk to you tomorrow with some good news.